Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is an M6A2E1 Mutant. And the game has started. It's on the North Spawn of Fisherman's Bay. It's under the command of D-Tronics. Now, what can you tell you about this tank? Well, quite a lot actually, because it's a development of the M6. And this one's a Tier 8 American premium tank. It was supposed to be a tank killer to kill the Tiger II, which was first encountered by the British during the Normandy invasions. And well, it was going to be armed with a 105mm gun that could penetrate the armour of a Tiger II at a couple of hundred metres range. It's got 320 alpha with penetration of 204mm with standard rounds, and that goes up to 245 with the APCR rounds. Now basically it's an M6 which has been heavily modified with more armour at the front, and you notice there's no driver's port inside. It's a very much reduced one. And the turret, well, it's a cast turret, but it's been very much enlarged for the 105mm rounds, and it's also got a huge counterweight at the rear because that 105mm gun does weigh an awful lot. And it's two-part ammunition as well, which meant they had to have more space in the turret for the loaders to work on it. Well, he put it round into the tracks of the IS-2 shielded, but all he did was track it, I'm afraid. He was going for the lower plate because he just showed it briefly for a moment. Now, they were going to build 15 of these to deal with the Tigers, and they were going to build them from some of the M6s that they actually built. They built 40 M6s, but they only built 20 of the M6A2 variant, and that was the tank that they were going to use to convert into mutants. But unfortunately, it also got a very, very heavy weight associated with it. It was going to be a 70-ton tank. The A6, the M6 was normally always just been hit by an HE round. The M6, ouch, that hurt. That was the IS-3's 122mm, and the enemy's got a mutant. Now, originally the M6 is a 50-ton tank, but this one was going to be 70 tons. In fact, well over 70 tons. And you can see there, he just bounced around from the IS-3, and it just bounced off the front plate. The one he got in was on the shoulders. Now, would he turn enough for us to get that round in? He's pulling back. And, oh, no, only into the tracks. And I'm afraid he took another penetrating shot. And this time round, it went through the shoulders with APCR. Okay. Now, it was such a heavy tank that it actually had difficulty getting up a 20-degree slope. So, I'm afraid the project got cancelled after they only built 2 prototypes. Okay, ISU 152 bounces one round off us, off the front plate. We've got to pen into him though. Oh, took a round from the tracks from the IS-3. He's going to pen us here. And, well, we got a shot into the IS-152, ISU 152 without him returning fire. So they built 2 prototypes, but the project was cancelled because instead they were going to go with the T29, the T32 and the T30 instead. Now, is he still there? Well, he fires a round in just in case the guy was there, but he did take a penetrating shot on the side this time. Yep, down near the drive wheels. And now he's down to just only 20% of his health left. He has blocked 1,530 hit points, and he's done 1,130 of spotting or assist, but I think he's not going to be able to get any more shots on those guys unless he does it sneakily from a different angle. And that's one of the things that the Mutant can do, because it's got such a tall turret, you can go hull down. In fact, originally it was supposed that this tank was actually going to carry the same turret as the A2. Oh, very lucky to bounce around from the IS-3. Again, off the shoulders. You side scrape out this corner. That's it. Nicely. Don't over angle it. IS-2. Yes! 343. And remember, the alpha damage on this one is 320, so that's a high roll. The T-43 pulled back in because he can't really afford to take shots from the mutant. Oh, somebody fired a miss. I think that probably would have been the IS-2. There's the T-43s trying to pull out again. Yes, one into his engine bay, 315 low roll. Okay, pulls out. No sign of the IS-3, so he must be around the other side. I think the IS-2's around the other side as well, or must be, surely. Supposedly he was on that corner. If the IS-3's around the other side, he might be able to move up. We do know the ISU-152's in that area. No sign of the T-43. Yeah, the IS-3's definitely around the corner, which means the only guy on that side could be the IS-2. IS-3's pulling back. He could go for it, I suppose. Oh, the IS-3 is pulling back and he's going right around the corner. Here he comes. That's the IS-2. So it's the IS-2's closest to us and the IS-3 is the other side of him. And they've both gone around the other side, so they are now on the opposite side to him. So he could move up. He could move up. We just need our T-29 to move up as well. He's being extra cautious, obviously, from the amount of damage he's taken. So, getting back to the story about the mutant, what happened was that they built 2 prototypes, and then the project was cancelled by Eisenhower because it was so heavy. He was listening to one of the other army generals who didn't like the project, and so they'd only made 2 prototypes for testing at Aberdeen. And although it passed the Aberdeen trials, although it was having difficulty trying to climb slopes at such a heavy weight, it was the whole project was cancelled in favour of the T-29, the T-30, T-32 and the T-34 line that were being built basically off the same hull. And here comes the T-29, the enemy team. Takes a nice round. Can we get a kill shot? It's that long reload, 10-second reload. It's 2-part ammunition. Yes, nice shot. So we're now 2 tanks up on the enemy. They've still got the IS-2S and the IS-3, but they're on the other side of the buildings, which means now there's a mutant and a T-43 ahead of us, and the IS-2, IS-3 are basically on the field side. So it all depends on where the enemy mutant is or that T-43. If we can't see them, we could move up. There's the IS-2 shielded. Okay, so he's pulled back. Now go for him. Yes! One in the engine bay, 365 high roll. And he's now 1 shot. In fact, you can fire an HE round at him and take him out. Okay, loaded, ready to go. He's pulled back into cover. The saddest thing of all about the mutant is that after building 2 prototypes, they were scrapped sometime in the 50s, along with an awful lot of other vehicles that actually builders test, including some of the prototypes for the Hellcat. So unfortunately, a lot of metal which could have been really, really useful for later on for charting the history of some of the American machinery was just wasted by turning into scrap metal. Which is very, very sad in a sense. Now, needs to be careful because the IS-3 there... Oh, he's just taken a big hit. He's a one-shot now. Just poke the corner, put one into him. Not there. There he is. There he is. Is he behind the building? Yes, he is. Oh! But he saw us. I think he saw us. Just try a blind shot just in case. 50 TP is a lot closer than we are. In theory, the IS-2 shield is somewhere close by as well. He's probably on the corner. Looks like the IS-3 is pulling back. So it's just the IS-2 shielded just around this corner. We've been spotted. It's the T-43 who spotted us, I think. There he is. Nice shot. And just the IS-2 too. IS-2 shielded Roma. He's a one shot. The mutants pulled back altogether. And the IS-2 shielded goes down. So there's the IS-3. Yes! Unfortunately, we took her out from the Arty, but it was only a near miss. And yep, now we're off. Only two left. The Arty, which is directly ahead of us, and the mutant who's back at the enemy cap area. Well, there's the mutant. Not going to get a shot. Oh, sorry, I'm wrong. Could get a shot. You see, it's a very big profile for that tank. Very big, but very long load time as well. Yes, he got the kill on that one as well. 4 kills. So if he can get to the Arty, I think the 50 TP is going to want to get there first. He's directly ahead of us. There he is. Yes, got a shot. And he gets the kill. So, yes, interesting tank with heavy armor at the front, but probably not going to ever see action. It was basically a response to the Tiger II. And, well, let's look at the end of battle results. The second class tanker for D-Tronics in the Mutant. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He got 5 in the end. A shell proof for getting blocking more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle. A duelist for killing 2 tanks who damaged him. And a 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle, as well as a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 5 exactly, and he picked up a steel wall for blocking the most damage in that game overall. And his win rate from the game was 4,900. Let's have a look at team score. Well, surprisingly, he didn't do the highest amount of damage in this game. It was actually the IS-3 on the enemy team got the high caliber for 3,679 hit points of damage. He was, though, the next highest scorer with 2,604 picking up the steel wall, and the next highest after that was RM12 with a Confederate for 2,501. When it came to kills, it was D-Tronics. He managed to get 5 kills, 1/3 of the enemy team, 3 kills for the Jagdpanzer IV and also for the M44 on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, yes, he's got the top in that one for sure. 1,121, 908 for the M12, who managed to pick up that, oh yes, that Confederate, and 899 for the Panther M10. He fired 23 shots in that game, got 16 direct hits and 11 penetrations, damage of 2,604 hit points, of which 532 were at more than 300 meters. He received 13 hits from the enemy, 3 of which were penetrations, mostly by the IS-3, and 8 non-penetrations and 3 hits by way of splash damage as well. 3,120 hit points of damage blocked by armor. He spotted 5 enemy vehicles, damaged 7 of the enemy, killed 5, and 1,152 hit points of spotting assist in that one. I think spotting assist or damage assist. 104,661 credits from that game. It is a premium vehicle. And after ammunition resupply and repair, he actually took away 75,407 credits. Got 26 bonds for the game and 1,681 XP, times 2 for the first victory, 168 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 3,531 experience points altogether. So not a bad game. This one actually did take place very recently. He's just posted up on the board. I again tried to squeeze a couple in for Monday so that these could get shown earlier on, mainly because I'm trying to get a whole batch, a big batch of KV2 games done ready for tomorrow. So yes, an interesting game. The Mutant is an interesting tank, but I don't think it would have fared very well against the Tiger because it had such a big profile. It would have been very easy for the Germans to pick them off one by one. And of course, the Americans only would have made 15 at the very most, even if they had, and they shipped them over. I doubt if they would have been able to crawl all their way from Normandy all the way to Germany because the terrain was just too high, too rolling for them to be able to climb up the slopes on that terrain. If they were having difficulty trying to get up 20-degree slopes, you can imagine how much difficulty they would have had in the Ardennes forests, having to go up and down mountains as they try to cross into Germany. No, it just wasn't going to happen. So this tank, interesting idea, but it just didn't have the mechanical power to actually make it work. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, leave a comment down below, and thanks for watching.